2 straight weeks. My intro video is still missing, but it's all good. Y'all know the vibes. You woke up this morning, you already won. It's your boy Earl of Pearl. That's Tyvus Powell, man. Y'all are tapped into another live episode of the Ultimate 216 show, man. No Cecil Shorts, bro. I appreciate you for joining me. You know the cool thing about this show? That is typically either you or Cecil. The irony is all three of us is actually from the inner city of Cleveland. So shout out to UCSS, man. They did their big one. They did their big one.
What I'm trying to figure out is how you've been had this show for what, a year and a half now, year some shade. How you don't got your intro video working?
It got deleted like 2 shows ago. I don't know how. I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it was a self-sabotage. You know, I tend to move a little fast. And I was like clearing out the queue from something before. And I was like, damn, we went live last week and we ain't had no intro video. But it's all love, though. Y'all show some love in the chat. Show some love to Tyvus, man. Drop where you watching from. Hey, this is a Steve Becker special, man. Drop what high school you went to in Northeast Ohio so we can have some fun with that. We're going to talk about, man, what took place in the joint practice today between the Browns and the Eagles. Shedeur Sanders got hurt. Will Dillon Gabriel start? But before we get into any of that, it's back to school time. Is your kids and your girls ready for school?
It's a big one. It's a big moment for me, man. Like my youngest starts preschool this year, and my oldest is going to kindergarten. So I'm a little. It's hitting me like that. My youngest is starting school. See, when the oldest went, it didn't matter because I always had the younger one. Like I was like, all right, Lay going to school, that's cool, but Milani's still like here. So like when I get home, Milani's still there. The fact that I'm getting to the point that both of them is gonna be gone, like it's actually hitting me a little bit. Like wow, like I'm kind of sad about it. It's like Milani is like that's my baby girl. Like what are you doing? You can't leave me. You can't leave me. So yeah, it's
I got news for you, man. As a man with 2 daughters, man, she belongs to her peers now, fam.
She gonna leave me. Like
man, it's crazy because my oldest daughter started her senior year tomorrow, and my youngest daughter is starting her 8th grade year. So I got one headed to high school, and the oldest one is about to finish, and it's bittersweet. I love seeing her grow up and try to like capitalize on what's next, but it's like, damn, it's over. The rise to school is coming to an end, man. Coming to an end. Yo, but where the parents at? Because I got to know this, bro. I spent $90 on a book bag for my youngest daughter. Like, that's diabolical. Like, she gonna have to have that book bag, bro, for the next 2 or 3 years.
Like,
bro, $90 for a book bag?
You got a senior. Does she be like, yeah, Dad, I want a Louis bag or something like that?
No, this the youngest. It's just a Nike bag.
Oh.
It's a Nike Elite book bag.
Nike bags is $90?
$90, man. $90. Like,
I'm oblivious. I get my stuff at Target. You better start.
Listen.
You gotta start shopping at Target.
Broke best friends, man. Broke best friends. So look, let's get into the show, man. Smash the like button. Remember to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Bro, it's crazy. It's like the day started off with some positive news for Shedeur, and then it kind of just went left real quick. Shedeur got the news early on that if Dillon Gabriel couldn't go, he would get his 2nd straight start in the Saturday preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then he went on to injure his oblique. For the fans who don't know exactly what part of the body the oblique is at and what that injury is and how it can impact the quarterback, can you explain to them what is an oblique injury?
It's like up in this area, right? Well, you can't see me, but like right up in here, when you go to throw, like obviously that's all that. So yeah, that right there, it's not a good look. I seen the video of Mary Kay showing, I think it was Mary Kay. Somebody tweeted out the video of him in the moment where I think it was actually, it was Nick Camino. They doing it on KYC. They showed the video of him throwing, and you could see like he was and then it was good that they finally shut him down. But it's unfortunate, man, because he was he was doing his thing, man, and he had a lot of national media. Like I think even Sports Center or ESPN, maybe First Take. I think it was First Take where they started off talking about they started the show off talking about Shedeur Sanders. So it's unfortunate right now that he, has to deal with this injury. It's crazy that everybody's injured but the 40-year-old man, Joe
Yeah, that's
Flacco.
wild right there.
Like, this is wild. And yeah, I guess so. Hopefully Dillon Gabriel is able to go, because if not, I guess it's going to be the Tyler Huntley show for 4 quarters, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, man. Well, we do know this, man. The Browns technically got 6 quarterbacks on their roster. And right now, you got 2 healthy quarterbacks and Joe and then Snoop. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Dillon Gabriel. But to the Shedeur Sanders point, it is unfortunate because I thought he was gaining some momentum. I know the practice that they had before they left for Philly, Daniel Oyefusi reported that he actually took the most reps of all of the quarterbacks. And that was the first time that had happened. It was the first time that he had went ahead of Dillon Gabriel, practicing with the twos, etc. So, like, coming off that stout performance against the Carolina Panthers, he was gaining momentum. And now this is just another minor setback, what I expect to believe for another major comeback. Before we ended the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show today, Jason Lloyd said he wasn't trying to speculate, but baseball players typically get this injury, and it's usually like a 3 to 4 week thing. Can you elaborate on, it's too early to speculate, but like typically when you hear that, what's the time frame surrounding that?
When it's 3 to 4 weeks like that, that would put him right at the start of the regular season. The thing with him is why it doesn't really bother me as much that it's him is because he's already shown you that he can do a lot with less. It's not like he's getting a bunch of reps in practice anyways. Like, obviously that's the thing that we complaining about, is that he's not getting enough reps. So now what it does is his mind has to speed up now. Now he has to take those mental reps and go through his progressions and all of those things. He has to really dominate the film room and stuff like that. But I fully expect him to make this roster. Like, I didn't think he wouldn't make the roster. And I don't think this is something that's going to linger to where he needs to be on the PUP list to start he makes the 53, then goes to the IR. Like, I don't think that this is something
Popular
that's going to be
Village said they already listed Shedeur as day-to-day. He's good. Shout out to that. We doing the show in real time. So if y'all see any updates, man, definitely drop them. We'll put them up on the chat. So to that point, and me and you ain't had this conversation, like, where the hell did that talk even come from? That Shedeur would make this roster? Like, I thought that was blasphemous from the beginning for a lot of reasons. Like, when has Andrew Berry ever cut a player that he drafted in the same year, let alone within the first 2 or 3 seasons? None of that made sense whatsoever about Shedeur getting cut and not getting the opportunity. And it just goes to show, man, we got to do as much as we can to kind of like fires, man, like those gas from happening, man, because that was BS, bro. Like, that was straight BS. Like, I couldn't believe people was actually out here like really saying that. Like, that's something that could really, really happen. Like, that was crazy.
I mean, it's one of those things though that, like, when you look at the room, you're like, well, who would be the guy that would go? And usually, people look at 5th round picks as guys that get cut and then come back on practice squad. So, like, that's why people was like, well, if he's truly a 5th round pick, then you could cut him, nobody would claim him, and then you could bring him back on practice squad. I even think, who was I talking to? I mean, maybe it was either Dustin or Jason on the show. We got into this, and they was like, oh, if they cut him, he'd probably come back on practice squad. And I'm like, you think that he would make it through waivers?
Yeah, okay.
And they was like, well, who wants to deal with that? They're like, who would want to deal with a quarterback with his status as a backup? And I said, that's fair. That's fair for sure. But, like, you can't deny the talent. Like, if the talent is there, and he's going out in these games and he's showing you he can be a really good quarterback, you would put up with that just in case, because we see every year is going to be one quarterback or 2 that gets hurt for the entire year. And you're going to need a guy to go in there and handle it. And for a guy that deals with a lot of pressure, has got all the critics on him, he handles it the best I've seen in a very, very long time. So I wouldn't mind having him on here. But to your point, Andrew Berry never does cut draft picks. But in the same breath, is he cutting Kenny Pickett? Because he traded a draft pick for Kenny Pickett. So, like, technically that's a draft pick.
Yo, man, so, riding home, I was listening to 92.3 The Fan, a station we both affiliated with. And they were talking about, the quarterback room and how, to that point, with all the injuries that has taken place, if the Cleveland Browns are going to roll into this game Saturday with what they have, or will they add another quarterback? I think not. I think that if you go into this weekend and you add another quarterback, like then that's bad news for Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel. I think Dillon Gabriel needs to play in this game, and I think Dillon Gabriel will do all he can to get himself ready to go out there and get his first NFL start. So, I think it'd be cool if Dillon was to be cleared to play and start. What you think it's gonna look like?
Dillon Gabriel, so when I watched practice, what was that day me and you was at practice? Was that last Tuesday or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember.
That was last Tuesday. That was the day before they left for Carolina.
Okay, yeah. So when I watched him that day, I thought he was fine. He was throwing on the run, but he had one play where he threw it straight to Cam Mitchell. I mean, threw the pick straight to Cam Mitchell.
In the red zone?
Yeah, I'm like, what the?
Hey, Spencer tried to argue with me that was a Hail Mary. I'm like, bro, that was not no Hail Mary.
No, that wasn't no Hail Mary. He threw that ball straight to Cam Mitchell. And I was like, so he makes mistakes like that. And then the next day, whenever he practiced again, he looked terrible. Like he was trying to throw on the run. He was missing passes and things. The thing with him is he's been inconsistent. And I can expect that out of a rookie. When you talk about this game, though, on Saturday, if he's playing in this game, he's going out there with the same guys that essentially Shedeur went out there with, because there would be the twos. Shedeur went out there with the twos. He had that same thing. And you're not going to blame it on Kevin Stefanski on the play calling, because Kevin called a really good game for Shedeur. So that means he would know what to do with Dillon Gabriel as well. If he can't get it done or it looks inconsistent, it's going to be all bad. People is going to grill, because the thing is, everybody's mind is on Shedeur set the bar. He set the bar. And if you was a third round pick and you can't at least match that bar, it's going to be a problem. On top of that, he got the national attention and all these people riding for him right now. So Dillon Gabriel's under a lot of pressure. And it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it, because the thing was so funny is that I'm talking about all this pressure that Dillon Gabriel's facing. That's the same stuff Shedeur dealt with all the time. Like, he's dealt with a whole bunch of pressure. He rises to the occasion every time. And that's what the NFL is about. It's about facing adversity and can you rise to the occasion. So if Dillon Gabriel can't give me a solid game, I'm not telling him to go out there and throw for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, no, I need something around 140, and I need 1, maybe 2. I'll be cool with 1 touchdown. But if it looks good and he's like, I don't know, 15 or 18 or something like that, that's fine. That's a solid performance with me. I wouldn't have an issue. But if it looks terrible and he's just inconsistent, missing throws, getting balls batted down, it's gonna be bad. This Browns fan base is gonna we gonna riot. We gonna riot if he don't do well. Girl, is you still there? Or is it me? And now they in the comment sections talking about what first of all, listen, Nate, you talking about why we let Sean King hate on Shedeur. I've been wanting to address this, because this has Sean King came on there, he can say whatever he want to say. I don't understand how people be mad at us about how y'all sit there and let him talk about Shedeur. That man has a right to his own opinion. I don't know why I'm not about to stop him from feeling the way he feels about Shedeur. Everybody see it totally different. Me, G, and Dustin, we look at it different than what Sean King does. But that's what makes the show, is that we respect everybody's opinion. So I'm glad that I was able to get that off my chest, because everybody's been coming at us talking about Sean King's comments. Take that Sean King. Sean feel with me, G, and Earl, and everybody else, we all riding with Shedeur. So we ain't got no issue with Shedeur. We want Shedeur to be the answer. We hope Shedeur is the answer. But even if Dillon Gabriel is the answer, I'm cool with it. At the end of the season, I want the Browns to have their quarterback figured out. Earl to Pearl, what's up? You good?
Bro, it's been internet issues in the house. It was internet issues in the studio today. I definitely had a problem, man. My apologies for that. The last comment I said, somebody said I took my crown down. I had to. It was time. It was time. I can't keep the crown up too long because I can't get in there to oil my locks up. A couple things I want to hit on. So Spencer German, y'all all know Spencer German, host of Locked On Browns podcast, co-host of the Wake Up on Saturday. I text Spencer before me and Tyvis did this show. He's in Philadelphia. I said, hey, bro, just what did you see with your own eyes? I'm going to tell you what he said, and we can react to it. He says, I know what the ESPN graphic said, but he said he actually thought Dillon threw the ball well. He said it was a few drops. He said the offense is working through some things clearly, but can already tell they're functioning way better than they did at this time last year. He stated that Jerry Jeudy and Deontay Johnson look like legit NFL wideouts for this team. He said that the defensive line looked downright dominant at certain points, and he thought that Mason Graham held his own. He said the secondary had some things to figure out. Defending against Dallas Goedert was a problem. Ronnie Hickman and Devin Bush both had picks. Dillon was 9 of 16 today, 2 touchdowns. That's the inconsistency that you talk about. Before I lost my feed, you talked about the pressure. We all seen the Shedeur Sanders mic'd up video, and we talk about how it looks on the outside. When Myles Garrett tapped him on the shoulder and said, we gonna need you. Like, that's a ringing endorsement to a rookie quarterback from the best player on his team that went public. We talk about players blocking out the noise all the time, man. And I went through Dillon's head. Did it amp him up? How some people, when stuff like that happen, they be ready to all right, bet, I'm going to show you. Or other people, they kind of let it get to them. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, in his situation, Dillon Gabriel has to, first of all, if you know Dillon Gabriel, if you've listened or followed his story, he's one of those guys that's very humble. He's very all I need is the little stuff. I don't really care about the antics. I mean, this man he gets a minivan and this man's jumping for joy over a minivan. So he don't really care about a lot of things. To me, what it's done is it's taking all the spotlight off of him. He ain't got to worry about nothing. He can just focus on him because he don't have national attention and all these people grading his performance and caring about all those things because that's Shedeur. That's what Shedeur is there for. So it's really helped him out in that situation where he doesn't have the national media. If he was the only quarterback on the Browns that the Browns took, it would be unbelievable. If he went 6 of 19, they would be, and it'd be an uproar. People would be like, what, did we just waste a pick? But nobody's paying attention. Everybody overlooks those things because everybody's focused on what Shedeur is doing. I say all that to say, I don't think he cares about that. Only in this league, and Shedeur did a wonderful job standing up there and saying this at the podium, saying, all I can do is control what I can control. I go out there, and what if I get first team reps, second reps, third, whatever it is, I just try to make the most of my opportunities. That's the same way Dillon Gabriel has to carry himself. I can't be worried about the fact that Shedeur went out there and had this wonderful preseason game. First of all, if they became friends, you should be cheering for your friends. You should be happy for them. And if I'm Dillon Gabriel, I watch that game knowing okay, so these guys is good enough to make things happen because, and we've been talking all this time about the receivers that's at camp. You got Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy, Deontay Johnson, and James Thrash. That's the only known names that people know. Outside of that, there's a bunch of people that nobody ever heard of. So when you're throwing the guys like that, it's I don't know if these dudes is going to be able to make plays for me, And when you see Shedeur be able to have those guys rise to the occasion and make plays, it gives you that confidence that when I get my chance in there, I know I can trust these guys to make these plays. So Dillon Gabriel need to go out there. He needs not to worry about what Myles Garrett said or anything like that. He needs to go out there and ball and control his own narrative because the truth be told, they going to need Dillon Gabriel. The Browns have played 3 to 4 quarterbacks every year for the past 2 or 3 seasons. So you're going to need everybody on that roster and all those quarterbacks on those rosters to come in there and play at some point. Unfortunately, that's just the harsh reality of what's been going on. If things continue to if history tends to repeat itself, you're going to need all of them out there anyway. So he needs to have a strong performance just for that simple fact that one day his number is going to get called during the season.
So it's funny that you brought that up. I know you feel this. I know if you are somebody that's from Cleveland, whether you're somewhere else right now or you're a diehard Browns fan, whatever, no matter how much we might like an individual player, we cheer for the name on the front of the jersey first.
Yeah.
And all we really want in the city of Cleveland is players at every position, multiple even, that can contribute in us winning and having success. At the end of the day, the bottom line is that's all we want. And so the fan in me, even though I believe that Shedeur Sanders is the better quarterback, and I stand on that, the fan in me still want to see Dillon Gabriel have success. The fan in me still want to be like, okay, cool. If something was to happen to Shedeur or something, at least I can trust Dillon to go out here for a game or two and get it done. It's not like and this is where like I have to be careful because we are in the media, but I'm not gonna act like I'm not a huge fan of Shedeur Sanders, and I have been before Deshaun Watson flopped and this became a possibility. All I'm saying is it's like it's nothing wrong for really cheering for one guy and still wishing the other guy well. I think the last thing we want to see is Dillon go out there and not execute the play and flop, because it's gonna really piss people off about why did you draft him at pick number 94.
That's
right?
exactly what's going to happen.
And so and I thought about this because I've been at training camp for about 4 or 5 practices myself. And what I've noticed consistently about both of them, when they get in the red zone, Shedeur Sanders seems to do numbers. That's where Dillon Gabriel has struggled the most at, in my opinion. But the one thing that has showed up since he's been in the NFL that did not happen to him in college is he's getting balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. So that's the one thing I hope don't happen on Saturday afternoon, because that was not an issue for him when he was in college. And so hopefully Kevin does the same thing with Dillon that he did with Shedeur, is, get him in shotgun early, put him in some situations to where he can get comfortable, catch a rhythm, and then we see how this all play out.
It's interesting. You talked about Shedeur and Dillon in the red zone. I can't remember who I was talking to, but it was about last year. This conversation came up, and we were talking about quarterbacks in the red zone. And for some odd reason, the comment was, when you got a short quarterback, for some odd reason, they struggle in the red zone. I don't know why that is, but if that statement is true, then we see why Dillon Gabriel is struggling in the red zone. And I got to address something, because while you was going on your Wi-Fi break, I was addressing the Sean King rant, because everybody like, why we didn't say nothing, that thing. Everybody mad at us for not saying nothing about Shedeur. He barbecued and flame torched Dillon Gabriel, but that's fine. Nobody cared that he did that to Dillon Gabriel, but everybody cared that he said something about Shedeur. I just wanted to make sure, like, why is that? Like, come on now, like, y'all don't care that he took a flame torch to Dillon Gabriel's name? Like, he said that the man he said the dude's not even a draftable prospect and he gonna be out of the league type stuff. So yeah. And I know this man didn't freeze again. Earl, Earl, you done lost your mind. Anyways, let me address some of this stuff. Sean King. Sean King ain't a hater though. Like, he's not a hater. He sees the game differently than everybody else does. He has his own opinion. I respect his opinion. Now, going back to Dillon Gabriel and this Eagles thing, if he was 6 of 19 in this joint practice, see, I'm not familiar if he took reps with the ones or twos. I'm gonna assume that he took reps with the twos. He was 6 of 19 in the joint practice. I told y'all a long time ago that them joint practices hold a lot of weight, because that's guys is calling stuff that they actually want to call in the regular season. And if he struggled like this, that's not a good sign for me. Like, that's really not. And it's unfortunate that Shedeur got hurt and didn't really get to go through joint practice like that, because I would have loved to have been able to compare and contrast those two guys through these practices, because this is as real as it's going to get until you get to an NFL game, like regular season game. So the fact that Dillon Gabriel struggled, he better have a strong showing tomorrow when he go up against them, because you go 6 of 19 in the joint practice and you can't follow that up with a better day. It
must not be meant to hear that, but I'll say this, because I talked to G this morning, right?
I was talking about how everybody was mad, like everybody was mad at us for Shedeur, for letting Sean King talk about Shedeur, but he absolutely destroyed Dillon Gabriel, talking about he ain't even a draftable prospect, and nobody cares that he said Like nobody. He said he don't even know how that man got drafted. Like that's what he was saying. So yeah.
Hey, I promise the God the internet bill paid. I ain't gonna lie, the internet trash, bro. It's trash. Like
who's your provider?
My homeboy worked for AT&T. He was like, boy, you need to get that trash ass internet up out of here, man. Let me go ahead and hook you with that fiber. So I'm pretty sure he watching this, and when I hit the group chat, they're gonna be talking about me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of. But my friends don't cut me no slack, just like yours don't, bro. They don't.
Who do you have? Spectrum?
No, I got AT&T, but I got the lower version. I need to upgrade the version.
That's your own fault. Like that's you. Like,
yeah. So I need to quit messing around, man, because these can't become things during the football season. But no, so I told like I talked to G, and I'll let G speak for himself when he come on, but he articulated it very, very well. That was early this morning. I done forgot half of that, man. I thank y'all for being patient with my internet. Shout out to Tyvis for holding it down when everything went astray. Any final thoughts?
My final thought is, listen, I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I am rooting for Dillon Gabriel as well. I know that we all have love for Shedeur. Trust me, it would be if Shedeur wins the job and becomes quarterback one, that might be the first Browns jersey I purchase ever, because I got so much love and respect for Shedeur as a player and how the way he carries himself and the things that he's done for the city of Cleveland. Like, forget the on the field stuff. This dude has been authentic and has been perfect for Cleveland. I mean, the man is going to Garden Valley and helping out. Don't be laughing at that. You stupid. Yeah.
Hey, this is the land, man. We crack jokes in Cleveland, bro. You got to be able to take them. Folks in the comments, I'm like, boy, get that Wi-Fi, my boy. Hey, why you wearing them crowns, my boy?
They said you got dial over.
Yo, hey, Earl, you got me.
Y'all pull no punches. With all that being said, I still want Dillon Gabriel to have a strong performance, because I told y'all I'm judging the Browns on their ability to judge quarterbacks off of Dillon Gabriel, because you could have, if he doesn't hit, like, you could have used that third round pick to get a skill player, and you didn't, because you thought that this was the guy. And again, you could have got any other quarterback in this draft outside of Cam Ward, but you thought that you skipped on Jackson Dart, you skipped on Tyler Shuck, all these quarterbacks, because you identified Dillon Gabriel as the quarterback that you wanted. So I'm judging y'all. Whether it's fair or not, I'm judging y'all. The Shedeur thing is something totally different. Like, y'all got lucky into getting that. You put it on the line and said this was the guy. So he better look somewhat good, because if he don't, y'all can't judge quarterbacks. And obviously, y'all past tells us that y'all can't really assess quarterbacks. But I was figuring that y'all would probably figure it out by now. So yeah, that's my final thought.
Yeah, man. Mine is, man. Hey, good luck to you on Saturday afternoon, Dillon Gabriel. Shout out to Snoop. I know you're gonna come in and hold it down. Hopefully iron sharpens iron, and that Shedeur and Dillon are friends, and that he can take that magnetic energy from Shedeur's performance and go out there and ball. I'll say this too, man. To each his own. Sean King's
before your internet go out.
Opinion. Agree with it, but I am not nobody to tell anybody else what they can and cannot say. But I'll just give my two cents on a couple of things he did say. He said that he felt like Shedeur Sanders attacked Tony Grossi. I don't think Shedeur Sanders attacked him at all. I thought that was a kind of little out of place, because Sean King is so far away from the situation, and he might not understand all the buildup that has taken place until that moment. I thought that both of those gentlemen handled that situation as best as you possibly can. I thought that Shedeur Sanders killed him with kindness, but I thought the interaction was fair. And from what I understand, Tony Grossi approached him, but that attack, that's crazy. As far as telling Shedeur to chill with the throwing up the Rolex and all this, that, and the third, like, listen, we say all the time in this world, man, in this world where everybody try to be everybody else and you can be yourself for free, you should be applauding this young man for actually coming out here and being himself and not trying to conform to any other narrative or fit any other narrative that everybody else want him to fit. Everything ain't for everybody, man. And young people, man, they want to show off their swag. You can do two things at once. You can be swagged out and perform. My man Tyvus do it every single time he on the set.
Come on now. I might crack some jokes, but I'm coming with that stuff on. You know.
With that being said, man, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining us, man. Y'all know the vibes. Be great, spread love. Remember, being great come with a price. Spread love is priceless. Peace. We love y'all.